Yep. Give us your perspective on the cube matrix, because we know there's a mathematical side of the cube matrix, and then there's also a sci-fi, several different ways of a cube matrix. So yeah, why don't you give us a little insight on that from your perspective?
So from what I understand, the cube matrix is an artificial reality that has been, it's a Draco created system that is manifested on Saturn. And basically there is a gigantic vortex, or like a hexagon, at Saturn's North Pole. I've heard from many people like Brian saying that it's composed of black goo. And what it does is it keeps humans and probably all sorts of different life in the solar system and locked into a limited frequency band. This frequency band has been in operation for, supposedly thousands of years. It's an artificial creation. The moon serves a lot of purposes, but from my understanding and from what I've heard from David Icke, is that it amplifies this frequency from Saturn, beams it down on Earth, and it keeps us in this low vibrational state. So I guess that, the next question is, how do we escape the cube matrix? I don't think there's really, I think the times that we're living in right now, it's all for experience. When we pass on into the higher dimensions, we ascend into the higher Earth grid. And I actually had a supernatural experience about a month ago where I was communicating with some dead loved one, and she told me all about what it's like in this higher reality. And he showed a picture of it. It's kind of similar to the cube matrix that we're in right now, kind of similar to what they talk about it in Star Trek with the Borg, with that big cube. Another place also is Revelation, but it's not really the dark cube, it's the golden cube. And that's an actual reality that we're able to ascend to. I know in Revelation it calls it New Jerusalem, and it talks about the different gates, or the star gates. So that to me sounds like it's a reality that we're able to access through our chakras, and the reality exists right over in the new Earth. And Revelation chapter 21 talks a lot about that. But I mean, that's kind of the cube matrix in a nutshell. We can't really do much about it right now because we're trapped in this matrix. Revival of Wisdom videos that I've shared a lot talks about it. If you take the cross and then you fold it up, it's a cube shape. So that's another, indication that we're living in the matrix. Also, cubes denote masculinity because they're lines, while you have curves represent femininity. And that's kind of what Leonardo da Vinci was talking about when he did the picture of the Vitruvian Man.
Yeah, I know that
Fantastic.
They talk about.
I love that. Just one little thing I'll add to that is, it's like I totally agree with this matrix system coming from Saturn. There's something going on, and it's to do with frequencies, and it's keeping us trapped at a certain resonant field, and we can't go beyond that. But also, there are positive sides to it because it cuts us off on the outside and the higher realms. And even in some of the higher realms, there are negative, or we may perceive as negative or low frequential beings. We call them low frequential, but they are in different realms. So it does block this off. And like David said it perfectly, we've come here for experience, and that experience is to be shut off from this, to be shut off from the higher realms. And we go into duality and I-awareness and single. I'm a single being, and we're cut off from the unity. And I would say what you're saying about the golden cube as well, that's like a new age. I would say we're heading into the golden matrix. The golden cube is coming, and that's part of the ascension. It's being cut off. It's forgetting what you are. It's coming here for these spiritual and soul lessons, for this experience of this crazy planet called Earth. And then now we're coming to the point where, oh, we're starting to remember again. And then together as a collective, the ones that are ready are going to ascend to a new realm, a new earth. Some people call it 5D. Some people call it ascension, you know, and I feel this time is happening. So I just thought that was fantastic, David. So thank you for that. Scotty?
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, because there's a lot of talk about the, you know, the cube matrix could be a prison. You talk about the cube matrix could be AI, and it's and then, you know, you have mathematics where, you know, A times A times A creates this cube matrix, and after it just keeps continuing and duplicating itself, next thing you know, you have this block of information in cube matrix. And yeah, so there's a lot of different, you know, views and perspectives on the cube matrix. So yeah, it was awesome to have you explain some of that. So.